This programme is brought to you by Vitality Health and Life Insurance and Investments.
Unlucky. Tanner says you missed the next one as well. Best of three?
The players and coaches have arrived here in Birmingham. Dame Noeline Tarua guided her team so well on Sunday. A comfortable win over England, 64-48. They tried out different combinations, different players. They're up against Jamaica, who were dominant against South Africa on match day 1 of this Nations Cup. Led by Connie Francis, their defence was certainly on point. The question is, are Jamaica back?
For this new Jamaica, the vintage for 2020, have got something a little extra. That was impressive from the world champions, and they've taken the win against England.
This is a learning process. It's what they take away from this.
This is not South Africa's tournament done by any means. Day 1 done, then to Birmingham we head next.
We are live from the Birmingham Arena. Our first game, Jamaica up against New Zealand. We're certainly touring the country. We were in Nottingham on Sunday, Birmingham today, and we're in East London on Saturday, Sunday, the weekend. It's a netball takeover. Delighted to be with England international and Commonwealth gold-winning medalist Ebony Asuro-Brown and a former England international Super League winning coach, Sky Sports Tamsin Greenway. Girls, great to see you. Let's quickly talk about England before we turn our attention to this first game. England on Sunday against South Africa. They lost. Ebony, marks out of 10 for the Roses performance.
I think a 6 out of 10 for Sunday's performance. I think they started really well. Obviously second half wasn't what they wanted it to be, but I think our unforced errors and I think slow transition to defence really cost us, so hoping for an improvement on that tonight.
6 out of 10, is that harsh or fair?
No, I think you've got to look at the overall result. They've 16 goals against the Silver Ferns. It's been a long time since that happened. You know, we knew there were going to be some changes. We know there's a lot of players missing, and so this new group have to take time. Tactically, I think they did some great stuff. However, they just didn't execute it for long enough periods, and that often happens with new players in and youngsters in. It was great when we did start to expose some of those brand new players, your likes of Fran Williams, your George Fishers, as the game went on, and we need to see more of that as this series continues this week.
Yeah, as you say, a new 4-year cycle, so time to test players. And let's remind you of the results, starting with that first game that we saw on Sunday. Jamaica beating South Africa by 4 goals and England losing out, a comfortable victory for New Zealand, wasn't it? Now, turning our attention to this first game today, it is Jamaica, New Zealand. In terms of the Silver Ferns, they have a new captain. She was one of the star players of the Netball World Cup in Liverpool in July. Amelia-Ann Ekenasio, let's get some of her thoughts right now.
And Ekenasio is not missing today.
The emotions when I first found out was every single emotion possible. I guess a huge sense of pride initially, disbelief almost, and then just all the emotions of I wasn't sure if I was ready for this, and I was nervous, and so yeah, really honestly it was a massive roller coaster for me. I was with my husband, which was really lucky because he's the biggest support in my life for me, so I was really lucky that he was there and the whole time of the phone call, and he was actually the only person that knew until it became official. So if you know any part of my journey, I haven't been in a leadership position before, especially even in the Ferns at all. It was a really big step for me, and at times I felt like I couldn't take it, but I knew that I had to. It's an amazing opportunity, so I couldn't say no.
It's massive that you can be chosen amongst your peers and recognised for the leadership skills and qualities that you have. The great thing I think that I've witnessed in regards to Mills is not only her ability to perform out there on court consistently, but she's actually a beautiful person, so lovely, and has a genuine care for everybody.
Laura messaged me straight away, Casey, Maria, so you know, all those players who have absolutely led the way for New Zealand for so long, and for them to kind of believe in me and send some love back to me in this new journey has been really special. The one thing Laura always said, that she was just a glorified coin tosser, and for me that kind of makes it feel just like a nicer position. And Laura's left a lot of little things like that, which is really nice to kind of follow in her footsteps in that regard. She really leaves some really big shoes for me to fill, which is exciting, but she's really amazing and someone I look up to as well. So she's given me lots of little bits, but I think they all kind of sing the same tune in regards that just for me to be myself, and that's the biggest thing that that they believe will help me along the way. We've got a really good group around us, and so I really feel like I'm really supported and not doing it for a second by myself. But I think if I've done a lot of work recently in standing in my truth and standing into my fully expressed self, which has been a big task. And I think for me that I come from a place of love, and I speak from my heart, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So everyone around me has no second guesses on how I feel about them, and I'm a mother as well, so it's really easy for me to give love and to make sure that everyone's okay. So I'm really caring in that regards, but I also I'm a massive competitor, so I kind of like to marry the two together, and I guess it'll just be me exploring the role, I guess, as we go.
Exploring, it's an adventure. She certainly has the respect from her peers. What do you see from her on court, Tamsin?
I think she's been fantastic. Interestingly there, she spoke about stepping into Laura Langman's shoes as captain. For me, it's about how she stepped into Maria Folau's shoes as well, because, you know, Maria for such a long time was such a dominant force in that goal attack, goal shooter position for the Kiwis, and she's almost come out of her shell. She stepped out of the shadows. She impressed so much at World Cup, not only with her on-court performance, but also her calmness under pressure and her long bomb shooting, which is why basically New Zealand lifted the cup back in July. I've been really impressed with that. I'm loving the way she's getting out here and shining, and it just seems that every player that plays under Nolene Taurua just comes into their own, and she's another example of that.
Is she another global superstar like we've seen from Maria Folau? Do you see that in Ekanasio?
I definitely do. I think she's a lovely person that you saw from the VT on the court, as well as her leadership on the court. And I think as she starts to feel this role and develop her own captaincy within this team, we could definitely see her stepping into Maria Folau's shoes. I think the Kiwis have definitely been calling out for a goal attack, a new goal attack for a while, and given her performances on Sunday, but also across the World Cup, she's definitely up for the job.
It's quite loud in here, isn't it? Tactically, how good were they on Sunday, and how well do they do the basics?
I think what you have to understand, the Ferns have come here with a plan, and that's become apparent under her Taurua's leadership. So they came here with a plan. They changed their shooting combination in every single quarter against England, and still nothing changed.
Did that surprise you?
Yes and no. It was a clear indication of getting everybody out there, getting some exposure, seeing who worked together.
It's quite fun to watch, isn't it?
Yeah,
seeing
brilliant
shooting combinations.
Well, they're so confident.
Yeah, it just shows the versatility within the team, and like exactly what you're saying, how confident Nolene Taurua is with her squad that she's got. So it'll be interesting to see how they go on today.
Yeah, the world champions, they mean business. They're here to win.
So, reach for your first.
I had a way then, losing it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine when I'm alive.
New Zealand netball stand tall. You're back on the top of the world.
Well, the atmosphere is certainly building here in Birmingham. It's pretty electric. Up against Jamaica in this first game. Match day 2 of the Nations Cup, that's what they're playing for. Who will lift this trophy come Sunday? We want an England victory today so they can hopefully make that final on Sunday. Tamsin, you want an England-New Zealand final, don't you?
I do indeed, and England's match later on this evening is going to be so crucial. I think the Ferns will actually take this game today. It was amazing to see Jamaica back in action, looking like the Jamaica of old. You know, they came out with so much confidence. Although defensively, I think both teams were brilliant at the weekend. It's going to be about the attack ends tonight. Look out for Maya Wilson in the Silver Ferns. Can the Ferns feed her? What's she going to bring to this group? And then for Jamaica, it's going to be that Shanice Beckford, Hija Williams combination on the line. I actually think they might get found out tonight with some of the long bombs they try and put into Fowler. They need to get to that edge a lot more and not just look for that long one in. But it'll be a really interesting game.
And the centre position for all these sides, who's the best centre for New Zealand right now?
Saunders got the nod and she'll be starting again, but I really like the new youngster Sopoi coming into that position. I think over the course of this week and moving forward, she is going to be that person that steps into Laura Langman's role. She's so athletic, full of flair. I love her.
Well, Jamaica haven't actually played since the World Cup last July. New Zealand have played in the Consolation Cup against Australia. Important to get these matches under your belt before you come into a Nations Cup like this.
So important. I think it depends what you're here for. And you know, the journey is so important. I said before this Nations Cup, you're not sure what the coaches are trying to do, whether they're exposing players, whether they're here to win. I think the Kiwis have gotten it right at the moment, but they've got the luxury of being world champions. So, you know, they've got a squad, they're full of confidence. They're going to mix up that team. I just love the fact that Jamaica are back to how we expect them to play. They had a lot of grit, a lot of determination. They got stuck into South Africa and expect to see more of the same this evening.
The Silver Ferns have come out first. That looks quite an exhausting jog, actually. Lots of high fives, great camaraderie, a great culture amongst their side. Nolene Tarua has built that culture, just like Lisa Alexander has done with Team Australia. Calm, cool and collected. The Sunshine Girls number 5 in the world rankings. There's been a bit of turbulence behind the scenes, a lot of some politics going on, but everything's settled down. They've got a new head coach, Connie Francis. She did coach them back in 2007, but she's brought stability to the side.
Yeah, she has. They were very structured at the weekend, and I was impressed with how they reacted to that in such a short period of time, because there was a lot of unrest behind the scenes. I think defensively they've nailed it, and they will hassle the Kiwis tonight, but they have to sort that attack end, and whoever gets that right tonight will be the winners. I think it'll be the Kiwis.
Please be upstanding to respect
She's going for the Silver Ferns
of New Zealand, followed by Jamaica.
all set for this first game, Jamaica, New Zealand. Let's get straight to commentary and join Rupert Cox.
Thank you, Di. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Arena Birmingham. Match day 2 of the Vitality Nations Cup. What a feast of international netball we have in store tonight. England's Roses up against South Africa later, but first, the 2 winning teams from the opening day, the world champion Silver Ferns up against the Sunshine Girls of Jamaica. Here are the starting 7. 8 players return from the Silver Ferns gold medal winning World Cup squad. Maya Wilson wasn't one of them, but she gets a second start in Maria Folau's old gold shoot bib. New captain Amelia-Ann Ekanasio shot 100% in that match. Shannon Saunders is the experience in mid-court. And the defensive combo of Karaka and Watson will have their work cut out against the aerial threat of Jamaica. And that's down to 6'6" goal shooter Janelle Fowler, who'll be the target for the Sunshine Girls. Almost a foot shorter is centre Nicole Dixon. She was judged best on court against South Africa. Shamira Sterling, at goalkeeper, is one of the most exciting talents in world netball. And after a disappointing 2019, the Sunshine Girls look like they're getting their mojo back.
I feel like jamming to the reggae beat. Bubble up your body, just move your feet. I feel like jamming to the sweet vibration. Whoa, sweet Jamaica. If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand. Raise it to the sky and let me see your hand. If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand. Loud up, sweet Jamaica. If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand. Raise it to the sky and let me see your hand. If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand. Lord of mercy, Jamaica. They do, sweet Jamaica.
Yeah, a fine performance from Jamaica in their opening game up in Nottingham. Likewise for the Silver Ferns, dominant against the host nation, the Roses. Alongside for this one, Roses Commonwealth Games gold medal winner Emily Asuro Brown. What a performance it was.
What a performance it was. I'm really looking forward to tonight's match. Jamaica came out firing on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to see if they can back it up in today's game.
So it's the centre pass to Jamaica to get us started. All those off-court issues we heard about late last year, but they looked like a team that really do have their appetite back for winning netball, and there's a good start from their goal shooter, Janelle Fowler.
There's a lot of patience that we're seeing from Jamaica right from the start, and I've got to say exactly what you said. I think they definitely seem to have their mojo back. You could definitely tell it was a turbulent time for them during Netball World Cup, so it's good to see them getting around each other, winning each other on, and finding that composure which they kind of lost last July.
Shannon Saunders.
Offside, free pass. Where? Yeah.
There's Ekanasio, the new Silver Ferns captain, just finding position and into Maya Wilson. She was excellent in the opening match, and she picks up where she left off. Same starting 7 for the Silver Ferns. Couple of changes for Jamaica. Connie Francis back in charge, the former head coach of this Jamaican team, and that's what makes them dangerous.
Great strong take there by Janelle Fowler. For Jamaica, she's literally the stalwart in the back, strong and dependable. They're going to need her today for the full 60 minutes if they're going to pass this Kiwi team.
Yeah, Nolan Tolder spoke after the match on the weekend. What a different threat Jamaica posed with their aerial threat. How do you defend? How do Karaka and Watson try and keep Fowler out of shooting range?
They need to keep off the body, especially with Janelle Fowler. I think if you can confuse the space for the feeders in front, sometimes you'll get a pass that's a little bit wayward off the back line or drops too short, which then creates interception opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see how they grow into the game as a defensive partnership. But they'll need to also sit on Shanice Beckford because she is known to slotting 1 or 2 in.
Yeah, not just about Fowler up front, is it? As you say, Beckford getting involved in a shooting sense.
Good start by Jamaica, though. 3-1 up.
They didn't meet at the Netball World Cup in Liverpool. Last time they faced each other was at the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast there. Jamaica denying New Zealand a medal. Who would have thought a year later they'd be crowned world champions, the Silver Ferns? What a journey they've been on.
Jamaica knew they underperformed at the World Cup, and they're much. If you take their form at Commonwealth Games in 2018, it was like two different teams. They were worlds apart. So they've obviously gone home. They've reassessed what they needed to do to get back as one of the world's contenders and world beaters. So it's great to see them in such good form at the moment. Hopefully it continues tonight and on to Saturday.
2 from 2 for Maya Wilson. Shamira Sterling just taking a bit of a tumble under her own post there, but here comes Jamaica again into Fowler. Steps onto that one leg and pops it in, no problem. Back-to-back player of the year in Suncorp Super Netball, Janelle Fowler. Outstanding shooting percentage in that competition as Wilson lines up another one, just steps in a little closer. Beckford across to Dixon. Little 1-2 there, and into Fowler once more.
What Jamaica are doing really well at the moment on the centre passes, they're using the width of the court. So you'll notice the Kiwis love to set up a diamond shape off the centre pass to try and protect the middle space. But Jamaica seems to be using the width really well, trying to draw the New Zealand defender wider in order to slot the ball down the middle to Fowler.
Ekanasio with that lovely arcing shot of hers. Jodie-Ann Ward on the wing defence bid, but that attack just breaking down for Jamaica, so turnover for the Silver Ferns here. Up by 2 goals early. Saunders. Crampton into Wilson.
That's unfortunate. It's great work by the Jamaican defence there, on their toes, really confusing the space of the feeders, having to reset back to the line. Unfortunate to get that contact call, but they'll need to do that for the full 60 minutes if they're going to get on top of these New Zealand goal shooters.
Wilson again, 27-29 against England. And New Zealand with the centre pass, looking to increase their lead here. Flat pass into Wilson again, sets herself, and same result. Dixon, named player of the match against South Africa, and getting in the way there was Karaka that time. That was good defence from the Silver Ferns, and here they come. Ekanasio across court to Crampton. Moving the ball quickly through mid-court. Ekanasio just floats it up to Wilson.
That's a great through-court play by New Zealand. Great turnover off Janelle Fowler-Reid again. Defenders confusing the space, able to pick up the interception. And similar to what we saw on Sunday, that fast transition from defence to attack from New Zealand is what kills teams off. So, yeah, great finish off by Maya Wilson from New Zealand.
All of these Silver Ferns play in the ANZ Premiership in New Zealand as Ekanasio just lips that win over the front of her hoop. 2-goal advantage for the Silver Ferns. Fowler, 6'6" high, climbs high and reels that one in. Back to Dixon. Crampton can't get in front. Bit of contact coming from Karaka. Janelle Fowler again. She's not just tall, she's powerful as well. Takes up space, so tough to defend.
Oh, contact call going the other way there. I thought the Jamaicans came through quite cleanly there.
Wilson does the splits, gets in good position. Still that 2-goal buffer for New Zealand. Jodie-Ann Ward into the starting 7 for Jamaica, almost.
See, those are things what we call coach killers. In terms of basic skills, in terms of handling of the ball, catching in those most critical times. New Zealand are 2 down. You need to convert that centre pass. Let's hope they can find that turnover that they need in order to get back on track.
Lovely ball over the top from Ekanasio to Wilson.
I think the Jamaicans are getting caught out a little bit at the moment. At the moment, Maya Wilson is known as a holding shooter. And if you'll notice, Shamira Sterling is getting caught on the back of Maya. So when the ball is being able to be fed in, it's being fed into the front space. She needs to come off the body, get round to the front, and allow her to challenge more ball going into the shooting circle.
Amelia Ekanasio can just step in here and finish that one off. They're looking very solid in possession here, the Silver Ferns.
Nice, smart play there by Janice Beckford. Oh, unfortunately, footwork call.
Crampton to a centre. Saunders, she can walk up just outside the circle. Wilson wants it. Wilson just her 12th Test cap tonight. She's playing with a lot of fortitude, as Maya Wilson, just as she did in the opener against the Roses. Bailey Mares, incidentally, unavailable for this fixture tonight. We understand she's got a niggle in the knee. So, Ekanasio and Wilson are going to have to play some big minutes, of course.
That was great ball work by Amelia Ran in that last passage of play. I think Jamaica will need to address this gap. It's slowly creeping out. You just don't want it to get too far that you're not in touch or in reach in terms of trying to claw it back.
Bring the fence contact.
Goal shooter called there.
Yay. As a defence, we always love a goal shooter call. Let's see if they can capitalise on it.
It's the opportunity Jamaica need to try and close this 4-goal deficit here. Over the top to Fowler. Gets good position, nothing Watson could do about that.
No. Nearly, and it's in.
Yeah, got her own rebound.
And that was very much needed by Jamaica. Like I said, the score was just starting to tease itself out. So to claw one back, unfortunately, they've just now lost their centre pass. Need a full court to press to try and stop that New Zealand transition.
Dixon just losing the handle there. And here's Saunders up to Crampton. There's another turnover for the Sunshine Girls. Jodie-Ann Ward.
You can see Jamaica getting a little bit static at the moment. They need to keep that movement. They need to have that repercussive movement in order to confuse the space for New Zealand.
With the intercept for the Silver Ferns. Crampton getting a good position over the top to Ekanasio. She fights for it. Ekanasio extends the Silver Ferns lead. Australian born, of course. They're up up in Queensland, New Zealand heritage, but headed over to New Zealand to further her professional netball career, and it sure has worked out for her, and that's a
great steal by Ekanasio there off the back line. That's what you need in the shooting circle. If you put a shot off and unfortunately it missed, you need someone. You need to know there's going to be someone there to back you up.
So it's a Fowler.
What's been great for Jamaica in this first quarter is that when they've accessed the middle channel of the court and they've been able to feed Fowler from the middle, they've often been more successful. So if they can get their cuts and drives going, especially going into their attacking circle, it might reflect in terms of changing around the scoreline.
Ekanasio just getting great position, almost at will here, and puts another one in for the Ferns. Six goals the difference for New Zealand, counting down to the final minute of this first quarter. Jamaica under a bit of pressure here, trying to back up their performance against the Spa Proteas in the opener, and there's another turnover, and here they come again, New Zealand. Crampton across to Saunders. That combo working well, and into the skipper once more. Wilson coming out of the circle that time.
I'm really surprised at this Jamaican defence. I thought they seem a little bit lacklustre today. I thought in terms of keeping the attackers off the circle edge, they need to do more of the groundwork outside the circle to have more of an impact in terms of turnovers within the circle. In the circle, we've got the greatness of Shamira Sterling, but we haven't been able to see some of her brilliance just because the ball's been coming down too quickly.
Beckford into Fowler. Wrestles that one down, and they needed that. And there is the hooter for the end of the first quarter. The Silver Ferns have been dominant. They lead it after the opening 15 minutes by 18 goals to 11. We'll take a break. Be back soon with quarter number 2.
Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
Welcome back to Birmingham. 1 quarter in and the Silver Ferns dominance, a 7-goal advantage after the opening 15 minutes. Ebony Asuro-Brown, what can Jamaica do here to try and find a way back?
I think they need to create some more interception opportunities. At the moment, New Zealand are giving very little turnovers away, and they're not, the wing defence and goal defence aren't keeping the midcourt off the circle edge, so they need to keep New Zealand higher to give an opportunity in terms of a one-on-one situation in the circle, just like that.
Tapaya Selby-Rickett. There's a change for the Silver Ferns out there in the goal shooter bit alongside Ekanasio. Let's see how this combination works. All
yes, Jamira Sterling.
Excellent from Sterling. Need a bit more of that, don't they?
And that's what we've known her for. I think in the first quarter I was saying that she's been relatively quiet, but her elevation, her strength is about winning ball for the team. So great to see that right at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, please.
And again.
Touched again.
You can already see we've had a change in the shooting circle, and we're already getting our fingers and tips of the balls from the Jamaican side, and that's what they need to do. They need to disrupt that New Zealand shooting circle if they're ever going to have a chance of gaining some turnovers and reducing this deficit.
Fowler, no problem from that kind of range for her. So enough to 7 the difference.
And that's pretty unusual for New Zealand. They're usually quite, as we've just seen in the first quarter, they've been steady, they've been calm, they've been able to break through that Jamaican centre pass line. So the very fact that they've lost their centre pass is unusual, just shows the pressure that they're currently feeling with the new changes.
Dominant opening quarter for New Zealand. Incidentally, that's the first opening quarter the Ferns have won against Jamaica in their last 5 meetings. Certainly a big result as Beckford drains one for Jamaica.
Breaking wing attack. Contact centre.
It's interesting. One of my questions about New Zealand's defence was about New Zealand's defence on Sunday. I thought it was relatively not as strong as I'm used to experiencing, but tonight it definitely looks like they've gone away, they've done their homework. It looks a lot more structured, and they look a lot more confident when they're falling back into their shapes.
Ekanasio to Crampton.
Offside centre, free pass.
Combination of Saunders, Crampton. Ekanasio shooting out of the circle has been very effective so far.
Contact, goal defence, penalty. Yep.
Really has been an extraordinary start to
Goalkeeper, penalty,
Amelia Ekanasio's tenure as captain of this New Zealand team.
I think she's actually growing with confidence. I think obviously she's just recently got that captain armband. She obviously had very big shoes to fill, but I think her performance on Sunday, I know she played a half, and what she's displaying this morning just shows that she's up for the task. She's performing really well, she's shooting phenomenally well, and just providing that little bit of assistance to the 2 different shooters that she's had on court.
Advantage obstruction wing defence.
Selby-Rickett.
This is much better by Jamaica again, causing that indecision in terms of the feeders as to where they need to place the ball into the circle, making New Zealand replay the ball, which is going to get them a little bit tentative. They need to keep that pressure, and the turnover will come.
Crampton wide open on the far side and darts it into Ekanasio once more.
Ooh, she got away with not taken.
Contact, goal shooter.
Saunders darts it across the Selby-Rickett. She can't hold on.
Now Jamaica really need to use this turnover. Nice and patient, as calm as we've seen them. If they can access that central channel, that's where they've been most successful.
Fowler just works it and gets position.
And that's great work from Shanice Beckford, I think, in terms of, we know her to be a formidable shooter, and the more she can get inside the circle, she's hitting 3 from 3 at the moment. I'd like her to up her volume and increase her output to really put some indecision in that goal defence's mind as to whether they can actually drop back on Fowler or whether they need to step up on her.
Obstruction, goal attack, penalty New Zealand. Hold time, it's obstruction, Jamaican goal attack, penalty New Zealand.
There's confirmation there, that's Silver Fern's ball.
Advantage obstruction. Contact with defence.
Crampton with another chance here, just to feed it into Ekanasio. And here's Tapaya Selby Rickett.
Contact,
Her first chance, and she finishes it off.
Great ball in by Dixon there. Again, when you've got a target like Fowler in the back, strong target, they need to do that more often. If they get the ball straight into Fowler, she's actually unstoppable in the air.
Jamaica came into this Nations Cup having not played since the World Cup last year. New Zealand with the Consolation Cup series against the Aussie Diamonds. Finished 2-2.
And again, we've just seen another turnover from the Jamaican defence there. Like, they look like a different team this second half. They're playing with spirit, they're playing with flair, they're playing with passion. And they're reducing the deficit. Deficit now back down to 4. They're not done yet, they're coming.
Absolutely not. 7 after the first quarter. The Sunshine Girls have found a bit more of the style we saw on opening night. Dixon lobs it into Fowler.
Down to 3.
Hold time, please, injury goal shooter.
So a change for New Zealand. Tapaya Selby Rickett has had to leave the court. So Maya Wilson's back out there.
And I think that's probably a correct call. You can obviously see that there's a momentum change in the game at the moment. Jamaica got a bit of pep in their step. They've pulled back the deficit to 3 goals. I think Selby Rickett came on. She was a little bit tentative. I think in terms of the movement, they weren't as composed and structured as they had been in the first quarter. So it'll be interesting to see how Maya Wilson reintroduces herself and if that attack for New Zealand can actually settle.
Nicole Dixon with a heavy fall, back to her feet. Leads it into Beckford and then to Fowler. Fowler plays for the West Coast Fever. Suncorp Super Netball.
Advantage breaking goal attack.
Oh, it's just a bit too hot for everyone.
That was a fantastic fly by Watson there. Really took on the challenge, trying to win the ball nice and early, make Jamaica think twice, and it might be just the pep in the step that New Zealand need to get themselves back on track. And that's what you need from your goalkeepers. They need to be fearless. They need to be able to fly out the circle at any time and just give it a go.
Wilson with the rebound. She puts it back in.
That'd be a good settler for New Zealand. Keeping the score on the margin out to 3. Need to capitalise on this centre pass.
Just arresting this Jamaican comeback somewhat, the Silver Ferns. Just having an excellent start in the second quarter from the Sunshine Girls, and they did need it. A little flat in the opening 15 minutes. This combination's back for New Zealand. Crampton, Saunders, Wilson and Ekanasio in the front court, and seems to be reaping rewards straight away since that change.
I also think what's been a really, really good change is, a little bit overcooked there.
See what they're trying to do, trying to go long here, Jamaica. Berger.
Great drive by Berger through the midcourt there. Strong, powerful, direct. No one was stopping her coming through.
Maya Wilson from mid-range.
So the Jamaica defence are going to have to address doing recently. So when Selby Rickett was on, she was moving a lot more, so they were able to get their hands to a lot more, a lot of tips, a lot of interceptions, where we saw the disruption come. Maya Wilson, like I said in the first quarter, she's a holding shooter, so they need to challenge that space in front of her or get into positions where they can actually challenge the ball going back and up. It's no good standing behind her. and not moving your feet.
And just goes over the top. Berger. So turnover for Jamaica. Good defence on that occasion, forcing the error. 5 goals the difference. Footwork called on Jamaica. Elijah Williams.
Another coach killer.
Advantage obstruction.
Ignacio way out of the circle. Inside to Wilson. Beautifully done. Ignacio with the assist.
That was really well played by New Zealand. They use a lot of 1-2s, making it really difficult to intercept the ball. And the way in which Maya Wilson held that space, easy ball to pop over for Amelia Ran, straight into the post. Smart play by New Zealand.
Karaka. Watson just unable to force the turnover there. Jamaica inbound the ball and Fowler finishes it. Good to see her with a smile on her face.
A bit of Jamaican sunshine.
Horrible day here in Birmingham. No problem here under lights inside the arena.
That's a really interesting call there, because Dehaney was marking the shot and Maya Wilson came in under her arm in order to block her from making the shot. Umpire called it contact from Dehaney as a goalkeeper. It's one of those as a defence you have to shake your head at.
12 from 13 now for Ignacio, continuing that excellent shooting form against the Roses. 100% Matt game. She only played half the match though. Amelia and Ignacio, and there's a turnover from Berger, and here come the Silver Ferns. Crampton.
That was incredible by Berger. See, that's commitment to making sure while the ball's in court, you throw your body at it, and that with this goal score, they're going to reap the rewards. Great play by New Zealand.
Here's another look at it.
Look at the stretch.
Jamaica.
That pass just a bit too hot. So back to 7 goals the difference. So that change from Nolene Totoa really
Footwork, late takeoff.
seemed to have made the difference here for New Zealand. Got within 3, remember, for Jamaica, but chance here for New Zealand to make it 8 clear.
In a full step, yes.
And there you have it. Wilson. 3 to go in this first half. Watson almost coming up with a turnover, and she does show Jane Watson. Brilliant stuff from the New Zealand goalkeeper, and here they come again, send the ball up court at pace. Crampton into Wilson, the 1-2.
Goal defence obstruction.
What's fantastic, we've seen Watson do that time and time and time again. And look at the elevation. All eyes for ball. Great turnover, great intercept. Transition converted by her team.
Out of court. Sideline.
Jane Watson plays a netball for the mainland Tactics in New Zealand. Talented football player in her youth. Came to netball pretty late, but here she is vice captain of the Silver Ferns and one of the best goalkeepers in the business. Sterling.
What Jamaica are doing well here, we talked about earlier in terms of you've got to keep the movement.
Watson again. 2 in a row for Jane Watson.
And that's really unfortunate, Jamaica, because they didn't learn from the first time. They know she's good at elevation. Get the ball down, get the ball around her in terms of a bounce pass. Don't just play into her hands. That shows poor learning from Jamaica. Hopefully it's only happened twice. Hopefully it doesn't happen in a third.
Obstruction, goal defence.
Ten goals clear, the Silver Ferns. Look at that graphic, 10-1 the intercepts in favour of New Zealand. That tells the story. Jamaica being put under huge pressure here. by the New Zealand defence.
And the worst thing about it, Shanice Beckford sitting on 100% at the moment, Janelle Fowler sitting on 94%. So when they are getting the ball in the circle, they are genuinely scoring. At the moment, just as I'm talking, they keep losing the ball in terms of their transition, which is not necessarily giving the opportunity to actually change the deficit of the score.
Well, that sums it up, doesn't it? They get the turnover and then throw it away straight away. Canasio into Wilson.
Advantage offside in defence.
Wilson, former basketball player, shoots from range, just a bit short that time, but contact on Sterling again.
Yep.
I think the interesting stat here is New Zealand have 10 intercepts to Jamaica's 1. And I think that reflects in terms of the 10-goal lead at the moment in time. New Zealand has made the turnovers, they transitioned quickly.
Got to get the shot away quickly, and doesn't quite get there for Fowler.
They've transitioned quickly, and they've been able to capitalise.
It's all New Zealand in Birmingham. 32-22 over the Sunshine Girls. It has been dominant from the world champions, and work to do for Jamaica in the second half. Maya Wilson, 18 from 21. Emiliana Canasio, 13 from 14. We can go courtside now where Gail Davis is with Janelle Fowler.
Thanks very much, Rupert. Very different, wasn't it, from the start against South Africa? But how pleased were you with the way that your team responded? I mean, you got within 2, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, but it's just for us to control what we can control and not worry so much about what New Zealand is doing. So just do our own jobs first.
We've talked a lot in the build-up, haven't we, about this renewed character and this determination, and that's going to be put to the test, isn't it, in this second half?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be put to the test, but I think we have the capacity to withstand that. So let's, get the second half.
Go well. Thanks.
Yeah, so Janelle Fowler, interesting to see what she has to say to her team at half-time. They're up against it, against the Silver Ferns. It's been a dominant display from New Zealand, the world champions, and they are playing like it. Coming next, half-time analysis.
GD must have a good dog. You're too cussed. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
The Silver Ferns showing us why they are the world champions. They're flexible, they're adaptable, some great passages of play from the likes of Gina Crampton to their new captain, Emilian Ekenasio. The score at the moment, they're ahead 33-22 against Jamaica. I'm here with Tamsin and Ebony, who's dashed from the commentary box. My goodness, she's quick. Tamsin, you said at the start of play it would all be about the attacking end of the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah, they worried me. Do you want me to show you why?
Please.
Okay, let's take a look. So we're going to pick up here. This was a problem, and I saw it against South Africans as well. Just going to stop the ball here. The connection between Beckford and Williams at the moment, it just isn't quite there, and this is where they struggled. What happens is when you have a really tall shooter in the back, all the teams try and keep you along this line here. They want to keep you up, they want you to force along by them. I'm just going to play it. Now, Jamaica are a lot more patient than we saw at the World Cup, and they go backwards, but have a look. This is now a problem. Beckford, Williams not working together. Dixon caught in the middle with that zone. Beckford, that's Janelle Fowler, that's way too long, and they're just getting clogged up, and it happens too much throughout the game. So as they do this, they get a held ball. What starts to happen then, they either force a long one in or force it in on a double. Okay. However, I did say we had to keep an eye on the Kiwi attack end as well, and I just want to show you why the Jamaicans got back into the game, and they did. They clawed it back to within two. Ebony got excited because she thought she was going to prove me wrong. Totally. However, if we can just, I'll play this one through here, forget to get the Kiwis up. One of the big problems the Kiwis had was A, they took Maya Wilson off, and B, they started to get clogged in the middle. Hemmings came on, Nicole Dixon were running the front, and Sterling, I really enjoy Rattle's goal defence. And as I clear this through, this is where they got into trouble. They clogged the middle here, and they have nothing on. And again, because they haven't got the target of Maya in there, they had nothing. And as we play this through, they get for a held ball. However, the difference, Terrell went, none of this, brought Maya Wilson back on, totally adapted, used more width, and guess what? They went 10 goals ahead.
Yeah, Maya Wilson, she actually turned on a scholarship for basketball in the United States, the youngest Silver Fern ever to trial out for them. So she's a whirlwind of energy, and she's a game changer.
She really is a game changer. You saw when they brought Selby Ricker on, it really wasn't working in that attacking circle. She was moving too much. But again, a bit like Jamaica, New Zealand had that target in the back. She's holding strong. She's actually keeping Shamira Seri quite quiet. And
how do you play against that? Because you played against the Ferns. They body up all the time. But what do you do?
You have to come off the body. At the moment, Shamira Sterling is getting stuck behind, and she's not able to challenge. Come off the body, try and chance it on the side. But again, you still have to work with your partner in front. At the moment, I can't really see Dehaney and Shamira Sterling really working together. So they need to talk, they need to engage each other if they're going to turn over ball from Maya Wilson.
Do you think they will do that? Because she's not much of a talker on court, Sterling.
They are still quite quiet. I still prefer Sterling in at the back, and I actually think at moments in that first quarter it was a really strong partnership with Wilson. However, as they were losing so much ball in the attack end, just kept flooding down on them, and the score blew out. So she made that change. I don't think defensively Jamaica need to worry. They need to sort out how they maintain ball and attack down to that third end.
I agree, they were so costly, especially in the second quarter. They had the turnovers, but they just weren't converting. If they're going to claw back the deficit, they need to convert those turnovers.
Yeah, some of the stats from the game, let's have a quick look at them and absorb what we can. What pings out comes in?
Well, of course, the shooting percentages are both high for the teams. You'd expect that. It's just more the turnovers. Look at the intercepts from the Kiwis. 7 intercepts. They have a 6'5" shooter, Jamaica do, in that circle. They shouldn't be getting 7 intercepts. They have to learn how to maintain that possession. Defender's biggest nightmare, isn't it, when you turn over the ball and your attackers throw it away.
So annoying. As everything falls apart in the studio. What's your message? What's the key message from, first off, the Silver Ferns, from Nolene Tarua?
I think keep the composure, keep the ball speed, keep the 1-2s, keep landing on circle edge and feed the shoes beautifully as they are doing.
And what about Connie?
Connie will need to look at that attack, and she will struggle to inject anybody in there because they've only got sort of one out goal attack and re-attack, so that will be interesting. Maybe someone like Nelson, give them a bit more movement.
Okay, 11 goal difference. Can Jamaica claw it back? Join us for the third quarter in a couple of minutes.
GD must have a good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
Welcome back to the arena, Birmingham. Silver Ferns for the 10-goal lead over Jamaica. And Shannon Saunders, one of the stars of that first half for New Zealand, absolutely bossing the mid-court. Gets us back underway with the centre pass. Tamsin Greenway's made her way up to commentary. What can Jamaica do here in this third quarter, Tamsin, to try and arrest the slide here?
Well, I think more of the same defensively. They're getting their arms on everything. They're so rangy in that circle and on the outside. I've loved the introduction of Hemmings out there with Nicole Dixon in that middle as well. They've just really challenged the Kiwis and made it difficult. You know, haven't had it all their own way, but they have to keep the possession. And it's not just about playing the ball around, it's how you attack and when you let that ball go into the circle.
Whitney Souness out there for New Zealand at wing attack. And Amulian Akanasio continues her good shooting form, shooting up to 93% now in this match. Dixon, combination with Beckford trying to find the opening to Fowler, and they do so.
New Zealand.
Oh, and a great intercept by Sterling. And she just has moments of magic.
There she is again, finding the pass and into Fowler, but decision goes against them.
Yeah, and that was unlucky. They really tried a quick transition out, and that's important against the Kiwis, because if you can get that ball moving past their zone before they're allowed to set up, it means you can break down quickly into the circle.
Souness, Akanasio playing plenty of minutes tonight, as we said at the top. Bailey Mez unavailable, and Maya Wilson making herself available again and adding to her total.
Yeah, and Jamaica making that change in the attack, and we thought it had to happen. Nicole Dixon moving up to wing attack.
There is Dixon, floats it into Fowler.
I think she is one of the most natural feeders in that attack end for Jamaica. You know, not the most orthodox in terms of releasing it from her chest over that big Kiwi defence, but that float to Fowler is so important. You don't need to whack it in hard to her. You just need to have some touch on the ball.
Wilson just calmly back to Souness. Contact in there.
Goalkeeper contact. Step forward. Both players step forward. Goalkeeper, hold time, please. Both players step forward, please. Yes.
Akanasio can just step forward here. I love it, Tamsin, how she was appointed captain by her peers, voted into this position. She must be a player that they respect and admire.
Yeah, indeed, and it's just the nature of that Kiwi culture. They've got such a good team ethos, the way they're all working together, the way they're all playing for the coach. You know, so many key players missing from this World Cup, from the World Cup winning side, and yet this team at times are just looking seamless, and that goes with the leadership, that goes with how they're designed to play, with the tactics, with what they believe in as well.
Yeah, over 560 caps from that World Cup squad. Laura Langman and Katrina Rode rested for this tour, and of course Stacey Coppola and Maria Falau retiring. But they haven't skipped a beat.
No, and it's a new era for most teams, and the Nations Cup's a great opportunity to try those players out. Been really impressed with Maya Wilson so far. She reminds me very much of Kat Larty, how she uses her body. Her movement and her rolls off are brilliant.
There's that basketball background. Use the boxing out, you see, keeping people away from the hoop.
Well, they're so strong in there. If you watch the Kiwis, the way they body up, I was speaking to Ebony about it at half-time, it's so difficult to defend. They're constantly screening you off. And Ebony was talking about how you have to move your feet and get around early, but you have to do it so early because they're constantly pinning you, constantly turning away from the ball because they know what's happening out in front of them.
Not outside, wing defence.
Souness, a lovely pass over the top.
Contact with the leg. In the middle, yes. We are. Obstruction goal defence, advantage goal.
Wilson converts. Same old for the Silver Ferns here.
Advantage breaking, wing attack.
Yeah, and we've seen this change in the defensive end for Jamaica. So it's Johnson that's coming at keeper. She gets a little tip there, but it's opening up quite quickly now. I think taking Nicole Dixon out of that centre position as well. It's not helping them out the front. This is a bit of a danger period now for the Jamaicans.
Yeah, this one really in danger of blowing out. Sterling. Dixon at wing attack to Beckford. It's a nice combination, and Beckford finishes.
Yeah, really lovely play. That give and go is so important against the Kiwis. Just going to watch this there in the quick hands. Nicole Dixon is so quick. So to use her pace effectively is important for the Jamaicans. I think she brings you a lot more at wing attack, but the danger with the Jamaicans at the moment is she's probably best in centre and in wing attack. You need two Nicole Dixons.
Goalkeeper, obstruction. Yes.
Shanika Johnson just called with the obstruction there. And Wilson.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a lot of obstruction down that end. Really important the defenders adapt to that. You don't want to keep them blown out of the game. And there's just that naivety. Jane Watson, how impressive has she been again tonight?
Yeah, vice-captain here at the Nations Cup. Playing like a real leader. Calicut playing very high up the court. Berger into Saunders. Turn over Jamaica.
Yeah, and that was the range of the Jamaicans again. Saunders trying to step round her and go.
Advantage obstruction centre. Advantage offside with defence. Throw in. Hold time. My error, you tipped it. It's a throw in Jamaica. Throw in Jamaica because of your tip.
Watson gutted with that, and so she should be. What a great recovery. She stepped forward onto the goal attack, popped back onto Fowler, messed up with the feed.
Shanice Beckford takes advantage.
On this obstruction, wing attack.
Jump pass from Sumas.
Contact centre, advantage offside.
They just seem to move the ball through the mid-court
Contact.
with such precision, the Silver Ferns.
Yeah, it's textbooks Ferns attacking through the court. They come at such pace. And I think that's what's been really interesting about this game tonight. I've said they've been seamless in terms of any player can step on and carry on doing that job. That's really impressive. You've seen Jamaica here changing 2 positions to fix one, has totally opened up their defence end. And that's just the nature of this start of the 4-year cycle, building youngsters in. But you need to get to a point where all 12 players are on the same page and you bring them on for a reason, not because you're chasing a game.
They find the target on that occasion to Fowler.
But that's the ball they can't rely on. It can't just be the only option for them, because we've seen over the 30 minutes it doesn't land constantly.
Vantage contact centre.
Wilson showing a physicality to get ball side, and she hits it from mid-range.
Her footwork then to step forward, block off Johnson, roll off and then pop to the ball. Absolutely brilliant.
Blind pass over the top, and Phoenix Calicut read it.
Yeah, we're seeing Watson being very active coming out the circle now. Obviously something Todoro has asked her to do during that half-time team talk. She's stepping out really early from the second phase, which allows Calicut to come through on the long bomb.
Almost an intercept there for Jamaica. 7 intercepts for New Zealand in the first half. Jamaica turned the ball over 14 times. Pretty tough numbers for Connie Francis to be reading.
Yeah, just frustrating, and one of the reasons, there you go, so he did all the hard work. Absolutely no need to lob that ball away there. Just take an easy pass, do an offload, square one, and then go again.
Contact.
You know that Berger and Calicut will always hang up the court hunting, but that's just going to say that this exposure at Nation Cup is so important. We're going to watch this here. Look at Berger just hanging up the court.
Advantage breaking goal attack.
Berger playing a 17th Test match for the Silver Ferns tonight.
The only way you get used to this style of play against all these nations is by getting out there. You can watch as much video as you like, But until you actually get out there, understand what these rolls and pops feel like, understand what the off-marking looks like, understand the physicality in the range of Jamaica, you don't know until you play it.
A couple of bounce passes setting up the opportunity for New Zealand. Shanika Johnson chasing shadows in the circle right now. Shady and Herrings at wing defence. Into Fowler. Watson just fighting for everything, launching herself. Just couldn't get high enough. Saunders. One two with Berger. Wilson, she just gets such great position.
That was a great rotation there. Again, the Kiwis coming through the middle. That's where they sometimes get stuck just because of the range of Jamaica. However, Ekenasio rolled out, pulled round onto the baseline, and Maya Wilson the strength to pop onto the ball.
Jamaica.
Ekenasio almost coming up with an intercept there for New Zealand. Covers so much court, does Amelia Ekenasio.
Goal defence obstruction, back arm. Yes, please.
James Beckford will get a free shot here, but she bounces that one off the back of the hoop. Fowler follows up.
New Zealand.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having your 6'5" shooter with you. Happy to put up a shot, you know she's there in rebound position.
Maya Wilson with the rainbow.
I think what we're excited about with Nations Cup was starting to see the new youngsters come through, the new stars, who is going to take us through these next 4 years. Maya Wilson really making a name for herself. She's kind of been in and out of this squad. She's had some opportunities, but this is her chance to shine. And I'm sure Tadora is going to be really pleased with how she's performing.
Yeah, she came on this tour with just 10 internationals under her belt. Playing like a more experienced campaigner is Maya Wilson.
Goalkeeper, contact.
There she goes again.
Yeah, and just that relationship between her and Ekenasio. The penalty, straight away, she bodied up, she rolled off. Ekenasio knew she was going to offload. They truly are a structured team.
Contact centre.
Ekenasio with a chance from distance. She rattles that one home. 19 of 21 now for Ekenasio. 28 of 32 for Wilson.
Yeah, very good stats. I think shooting for either side has been the problem this evening. It's more what's been going on outside the circle.
Advantage offside in defence.
Beckford.
New Zealand. Advantage obstruction, goal defence.
Soonest, another youngster in this New Zealand team, really has added some impacts off the bench in the second half.
Well, that's something very different to Gina Crampton, but still the same effective creativity in that attack end for the Kiwis, and it's just the patience they have. And here's Selby Rickett, she's entered the game at goal attack.
Attack obstruction, penalty.
And that's great from Tadora as well, isn't it? She brought Selby Rickett on. It didn't quite go to plan. She brought her back off to have the confidence to put her back on.
Advantage offside, wing defence.
Play her back into the game, really important.
And there she is with an intervention for the turnover.
Contact on the arm, goalkeeper. Obstruction both players. Advantage goal.
Hold time, please, injury.
And Wilson up to 29.
Another change there as Beckford's gone to the bench. I'm not really surprised. Jamaica wanting to mix up the attack end. Nothing to lose now as this score's really blown out.
Giselle Allison out there in goal attack for Jamaica.
Surprised we haven't seen Jamona Nelson out there yet. She probably would have given something different to that Jamaican shooting circle. Hard to take your captain off, but I think the Kiwis have really nailed the tall holding shooter. I know Nelson playing out in the Suncorp, she offers just that bit more movement, bit more elevation onto the ball.
Replay him. Contact wing defense.
Saunders just losing the handle, but gets the call for the contact.
And a bit lucky there. I think she played for that contact. She'd already dropped it before Hemmings came in.
Goal defense, contact. Get off the body, goal defense.
Here the umpire now getting involved. And they are starting to get pinged out of this game, and that's when Jamaica, it's their danger period. They need to keep coming off the body, keep doing what they were doing well in that first quarter, working as a unit, not individually trying to battle with their partners. It's better from Hemmings.
Turnover Jamaica, long ball into Fowler. But it's a little too hot once again. And New Zealand still in control here against Jamaica. That is 20 goals the difference now after 3 quarters. And it's hard to see a way back here for Jamaica.
GD must have a good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
Welcome back to the arena, Birmingham. The Silver Ferns on course for a second straight win at the Vitality Nations Cup. 51-31. Layla Gusketh looking on. Famous England Roses player. course, they're up again. They're up next, up against the Spa Proteas. Both those two teams looking for their first win at this tournament. Match day 2 here in Birmingham. Janelle Fowler getting good position early in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and a nice confident start from the Jamaicans. Change it around again. Dixon back into the middle. Not surprised that they've brought her back in there. They needed that injection of pace. And Beckford at wing attack totally opened up that space for Allison to put the ball in.
And Kimiora Poi in the centre bib for the Black Ferns. There she is, looking for the intercept. Head into Tapia Selby-Rickett there, and at the other end, Fowler gets her second of the quarter.
Oh, look at the difference when Jamaica land in the middle of the court, closer to that circle edge. They're able to just let that ball quickly go to Fowler.
Advantage offside. Wing attack, obstruction. Wing attack.
Shimura Sterling. Goldie did. Dixon back at centre for this 4th quarter. And that's another turnover against Jamaica. That's been their issue.
And it's amazing, isn't it? They had a tip, it got fumbled, they picked it up, and then another arm came in. It just kind of rolls on one after the other when you play against the Kiwis. You have to stop, almost reset the ball, and go again.
Poi.
Contact, goal defence, penalty.
Yeah, big fan of Kimiora Poi. I think she's got a lot to offer this Silver Fern side. I think she's going to be a real star for the future.
Yeah, spent a bit of time in Suncorp Super Netball with the Collingwood Magpies. Back playing domestically this season for the Tactics. That experience in Australia would have done her no harm at all.
Advantage offside and defence.
No, we're just getting used to the grips of the pace of the Aussie style of game, physicality of it all, and just getting to play against the best players in the world. Like, what an experience.
From long range, Tapia Selby-Rickett.
I love how the Kiwis have brought back the long-range shooting. We even saw it from Bailey Mez on Sunday.
Advantage offside. Contact.
We know Maria Flower always used to be the long-range shooter for the team, but Akanazio has brought it into her game. Just the confidence to go to post. It's so hard to defend. You've got so many other teams now that will pass in and out, pass off to each other, but that confidence to turn and go to post, it becomes unstoppable, because how the hell would you turn the ball over? Who do you mark?
Well, as you say, it really does set them apart. We saw that at the World Cup, didn't we? Their ability to score from range.
I actually think that's where England have come into their own over the last few years. Housby and Hart and that combination, both happy to go to the post. We saw it from George Fisher. Hopefully we see that a little bit later tonight against South Africans.
Janelle Fowler doing what she does best. Draining another one from right underneath. Selby-Rickett across to Wilson. Wilson with her highest tally ever for the Silver Ferns in this game. Previously 27, she's got 32 so far. Make it 33.
Jamaica.
Yeah, good patience from the Ferns. Started through the middle, got a bit stuck, brought it out wide. It was a good release from Maya Wilson. I like the fact she's happy to post up in the circle, but also come out, offload the ball, get back in there, work with her shooter.
Roses are here.
Yeah, Fran Williams and Amy Carter. There's Russ Quashie as well. All the newbies, future of the England Roses. Talked a lot about them this week. And we've got some real stars coming through. Hopefully they'll get some exposure tonight.
Big game for them tonight.
A must win.
They want to play in that title match on Sunday afternoon at the Copper Box. They've got to get the W against South Africa.
I think they'll be looking at this tonight thinking we can do the same to Jamaica. But first of all, they've got to get one over on South Africa. And obviously the last time they met, back just before Christmas, they lost that last test. So big game this evening.
Yeah, won the series down in Cape Town, but dropped that final match. Of course, won the bronze medal match at the World Cup in Liverpool last year to the Roses. Kimiora Poi. Sylvie Rickett playing high. Back to Poi.
Throw in New Zealand. Yeah.
Great court speed, Poi, hasn't she? Really does get across the floor.
She has.
Advantage obstruction centre.
Really opens up the game.
Obstruction goal defence.
Just the power of Souness and Poi. Not the tallest players, but both really athletic. Great elevation, great strength as well, needed in the modern game.
Dixon. Bit of contact with Poi, that one let go.
Advantage contact, wing attack. Defense. Goalkeeper contact.
Shorter and sharper by the Jamaicans, but making ground, making sure they're getting to that circle edge makes such a difference.
Advantage contact, wing attack.
I think that's the work rate they've got to keep up. They'll often be static. We looked at analysis at half-time, and when they're all standing still in that line, it's just totally breaks down their attack. And the minute they give and go and take those tight little balls there, it breaks down the Kiwi defence.
Jamaica.
Sylvie Ricketts found her feet in this one. Another goal for her. As you say, requires quite a lot of composure to be able to come back on after a change, and that's an audacious pass into the circle. New Zealand ball.
Now, she was always off balance. They were trying to get that depth. I like what they were looking for there. They wanted to get that ball down to the circle edge.
Contact, wing attack, watch it on the line.
Saunders just having all her experience just to calm things down. And
Advantage contact, wing defence.
There's a lot of body going on around that circle now.
Sylvie Rickett has the hot hand right
New
now.
Zealand.
Souness just buys a bit of time. Back to Saunders.
Yeah, and that's where they get into trouble. Poi opting to cut back into the middle, and really all her width was down towards the edge of the circle, down towards the
Offside, goal
baseline.
defence, free pass.
So 60-37 now to the Silver Ferns. It's been a tough day at the office for the Sunshine Girls so far. They would have felt so good after their opening win against South Africa, with all the problems they'd had off court towards the end of last year and the subpar performance at the World Cup. But it's been something of a reality check for them here against New Zealand.
But I mean, you'd rather do this now than 2 years' time at the Commonwealth Games, and I think this is why it's so important for them. They've got their squad back together. They've had a change in coach. They know where they want to go. They've shown us defensively they can be really effective, but they'll have invaluable information from this series about the different sides and how they can open up that attack end, and then it's their job to go home and start to work on that. They've got to start looking at other wing attack and goal attack options, other options in the circle when Fowler's being taken out of the game. And a lot of it's not her fault, it's more about what's going on in front. But, you know, this is for Connie Francis now to see this, understand where the downfall is, go away and work on it.
And on the other side, great for the Silver Ferns to be able to play their full squad. There's Wilson, who's turning into a real star of this Vitality Nations Cup, has another.
Footwork dodge to the baseline. Absolutely sold the Jamaican defence.
Sterling hasn't been able to really put her stamp on this match against New Zealand, but Fowler pretty much anywhere close to the scoring zone. Yeah, so tough. It's tough to stop, isn't it?
Well, she made me laugh. She gave a little nod to the sub umpire, like, you're not going to call that for contact. But she took it. She took it well.
Advantage contact centre.
6 to go in the final quarter.
Advantage construction. Possession, Nottingham. Sorry, possession.
Souness fighting for the ball. Gets the call as well. Poi. Sylvie Rickett across to Wilson, and that combo's working well as well now with Ekanasio having a sit down.
Yeah, Sterling there just straight through the hands. Too many of those unforced errors tonight as well from the Sunshine Girls. Yes, they've been put under pressure from the Kiwis, but things like that that are just unforgivable, really. Again, another learning curve. If you want to keep up with the best teams as a player, you have to take those individual responsibilities. That's not a coach's job. Dropping the ball out there is your job. Oh, and that footwork again from Maya Wilson.
A laser-like pass from Camille Depoy as well. She got a high five from Souness as a result.
Vantage contact centre.
49 wins coming in for New Zealand against Jamaica all time. On course for 50 here.
Yeah, they're just so dominant all over the court at the moment, the fans are. They showed that against England, they've backed it up against Jamaica.
Advantage obstruction centre.
Wilson again from range once more, rattles at home.
Yeah, shooting masterclass. 95% New Zealand is sitting on.
Fowler gets between the two Silver Ferns defenders. And
yeah, well, they tried the double there, but the ball was pinpoint. Came from the middle of the court. It still came from distance, though.
Bounce past the point.
Yeah, better from the Ferns using that width. Bit of a risk going over the top of Dixon. However, when they do get the ball there, it opens up the circle nicely. Maya Wilson again posting up, rolling out of that. Always giving them an option.
Advantage contact, wing attack. Advantage obstruction, wing attack.
Long pass over the top and just a bit too much on it. The contact's called.
Yes, thank you. Goalkeeper, step away. Yes.
Souness, little underhand ball.
Advantage contact. Outside, throw in, New Zealand.
Souness give and go. Been exceptional this evening. She came on, she had a real impact in that attacking for the Kiwis. Well, no, she's been really smart about when she's chosen to open up the top of the circle, but happy to take on the width as well.
Contact centre.
Oh, Saunders.
Shannon Saunders with the intercept for the Silver Ferns. And here's the end result.
Obstruction goal defence.
I think it's lessons like that Jamaica need to look at. Can't keep giving that ball away. You've got to understand when you turn it over against the Kiwis, they wait for you there on that third line. We're going to watch it here.
Jamaica.
Saunders sat so high. She came running up. You've got to look at that player short one and go over the top of them. Easier said than done when it looks wide open.
Long bomb into Fowler.
Almost playing with nothing to lose now. Practicing, feeding practice out there.
Contact's on point. Here comes Souness again. Little 1-2 with Wilson. Gets that big right foot forward.
Contact. Yep.
Selby Rickett just hands it off. These two have played well together.
You just can't fault the shooting combination of the Kiwis across the two games. On Sunday, we saw all four shooters get out there in all different combinations. Tonight, Bailey Mez. Oh, Sterling, unlucky. Bailey Mez unavailable. A niggle for her, but the three of these guys again. Come on, come off. Shot well, have that understanding to offload the ball. It could take years to come with a shooting combination.
Jamaica.
Oh, Berger unlucky there.
Advantage contact, wing attack.
Saunders has been excellent mid-court, as has this lady, Maya Wilson, turning into a real player of this tournament. Noeline Taurua awarded a damehood in the New Year's Honours list for services to netball. Just the third New Zealander to receive that honour.
We were speaking to her before the game and she was playing it right down. Surely you're going to introduce yourself like that. It's got to be on every text message you send, every email.
Doesn't she realise quite a big deal in these parts?
Contact goal defence penalty.
And quite right too. It has been absolutely extraordinary what she's done domestically in Suncorp Super Netball, back-to-back titles, and to take this Silver Ferns team from where they were without a medal at the Commonwealth Games, and then you get to Liverpool and you're world champions as we count down to full time. Selby Rickett will be able to put the icing on the cake for the Silver Ferns. They have been imperious here against Jamaica. Absolutely outstanding. 71-45, the final score. Your final thoughts, Tamsin Greenway?
Well, in every area of the court, they were dominant, weren't they, from start to finish? They reacted, they adapted, they got everybody out there. Impressive. The Sunshine Girls, though, you know, a different side than what we saw at the World Cup. They proved that against South Africa at the weekend. Now for them, it's about regrouping and understanding how to play the Kiwis the next time they face them.
Yeah, they'll go to the copper box in fine fettle. Will New Zealand will be there, of course, and they have one large-size netball shoe in that title match, which will be played on Sunday. So Tamsin, on the other side, Jamaica, how will this affect them? They must have been on such a high on the opening day with their win against South Africa, but this was a different deal altogether.
Yeah, and it's part of it when you face other nations. This is like a Commonwealth Games, a World Cup, where you back up against different teams, different styles. You know, you can see them in the huddle at the end here. They're having a big chat. They'll be disappointed, and they should be. However, they've got another game to pick themselves up against England, and believe me, they'll be fighting for that game of the weekend.
Okay, we're just about ready to get some reaction, and it's the Silver Fern, who's been absolutely outstanding all tournaments so far. She shot 42 of 45 in this match, 93%. Maya Wilson is with Gail.
Thanks very much, Rupert. 93%. Rupert has just worked out the highest goal tally for you in a black dress. How was that?
I'm really excited. I'm really proud of the girls that we were able to get a clinical match out of there. We knew that Jamaica was going to be very physical, so there's a lot we still need to work on, but really happy with the result.
We know that Nolene is rotating the squad, so how aware are you that you have to make almost every second out there count, don't you?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I've been within the squad for a few years now, but finally getting my chance, and I'm really trying to take that opportunity with two hands, so very excited to get just under a full game. Next stop is to try and get a full game really under my belt.
And I know you spent a long time, haven't you, away, working, conditioning yourself, getting yourself ready when your opportunity came. How good do you now feel out there?
I feel great. I'm really proud that I was able to have that resilience after not making Com Games and World Cup, but to be able to come out here and really feel like I'm doing my job is what I'm really grateful for, so here's to many more hopefully.
Well, many, many congratulations. Very, very well played today. There is your player of the match. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maya. Connie, come and join us. I guess you knew it was coming, didn't you? You had glimpses of what New Zealand were capable of on Sunday, but you couldn't stop them today.
Yeah, I thought that we know their style and we know that they're very tough, but I thought that we did handle pressure well. I thought that we made some silly unforced error, and that, you know, hence the score went away.
I know that it's very early days since you took over as coach, and it's going to be hard, isn't it, to retrain these players both physically and mentally, but did you feel at times maybe the old Jamaica just creeped back in there as the game slipped away?
I think that time is really a factor, because we didn't have enough time to prepare the girls, but despite that, I'm very proud of the effort. I know it was always work in progress, and to go back on our heels like this, I want to see how good we are to come back for the game on Saturday.
It is about the way you come back, and in your minds, have you answered some questions in terms of selection ahead of that England game?
In my mind, I have to process this first. I have to see where we do go wrong, because I thought it was the entire team did not play well. So I have to process this first and then come up with an idea for England.
Well, we are looking forward to it already. It's going to be a good one, isn't it? Thank you very much for joining us, Connie. Nolene, come and stand in. First win in 4 against Jamaica. It was emphatic in the end. Did you kind of get that sense when you sent that team out there?
Look, you never know, but really pleased with the outcome. You know, I think there was definitely a step up for us, and structures are getting a bit more tighter, and a really good team effort, so very pleased.
And what a performance from Maya Wilson. It's her highest tally playing for the Silver Ferns, 93%, and she made every second on court count for you, didn't she, today?
Yeah, very outstanding actually. I'm wrapped that she was able to back up from yesterday. That's huge, and consistency is one of our things that we're looking to be better at. And I thought not only with her shots, but she was also quite smart and strategic. You know, Jamaica's got some outstanding defenders, so really pleased for that whole circle and that attacking end.
And for you as a coach, you've tried almost every combination possible, haven't you, with the shooters that you've got fit and available. That must really give you some clarity, doesn't it? You now know the strongest shooting circle, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that we do have combinations, and that's always pleasing. And probably one of the objectives was to win the games, but also a balancing act of getting people out on court. And some of them are really standing up, and I'm really pleased. You know, I thought Depaya probably at the beginning was a bit dodgy, but really happy how she came back on and sunk some beautiful shots. So, you know, they're very competitive, and overall I'm really pleased by what we're putting out there.
And also the ability to mentally stay in the game right to the end must have pleased you, because that was maybe the only question mark in the first game, and you won by a lot and you were ruthless.
Yeah, I mean, that's once again, those are the things that we are working towards, and every time we get out there, irrelevant of the opposition, you know, we just want to incrementally improve, and ruthless is really good. Thank you for saying that, and we'll take that, and we'll look forward to our next game against South Africa.
Very well played today. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah, a great start for the Silver Ferns. 2 from 2 in the Vitality Nations Cup. Their highest score against a top 4 nation since they scored 72 against Jamaica back in 2016. We'll take a break, be back with analysis.
GD must have a good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
A dominant Silver Fern side we've seen today, 71-45 the result. A little bit of jig, you deserve to have a bit of a dance actually against Jamaica. Their first win in the last 4 against the Jamaican side, their 50th victory against the Sunshine Girls, and they last played, there's been quite a gap since they played them last. It was back in the Commonwealth Games for the bronze medal. Jamaica victorious in that game, 60-55, but today, Ebony, let's go to you. New Zealand, how would you describe their style of play today?
They were strong right from the beginning. I think what Tamsin said in the second half, it just looks like a seamless team. They've obviously got 3 of their players that, like Maria Falau, Laura Langman, Katie Kapua, who have been in the team for so long. They've left, but we're
not missing them, are we?
We're not missing them at all.
Sorry, girls,
they played so well. I think Maya Wilson, she was a rock in this shooting circle for them today. Yeah. She was accurate, she was a great target, she paired really well with all of her goal attacks that came on, and a 71-45 scoreline. That's a drumming. That's really disappointing for Jamaica.
Maya Wilson, was she the star for you, the most amount of goals she's ever scored in a Silver Ferns dress?
I think she was brilliant. I think the Ferns have come here, they've got to look at the shooter options now. Maya Wilson, they're looking at her. Well, she stood up and delivered tonight, didn't she? It's just the way she uses her body, but she's so athletic with it as well. And one of the big things, and we're just watching her here, just look how she posts up, rolls off, is happy to turn away from the ball and play into the space and onto it. Big thing is, can the Kiwis feed her? That's what I wanted to see tonight. Can they get the ball in under pressure? And they can. They're confident, look at the screen off and play off. And that footwork to go forward and back. But the confidence on the edge there from, I think it was Souness, to hold on to it and wait for her to open up on the 3rd second, that shows that they have faith in the shooter. It's really difficult when you're there and you're waiting for the 3rd second ball. You're almost like, shall I swing it, shall I play it? They didn't. They played her right into the game. And that is what the Ferns will need to do moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, they've got so many options, haven't they? And Selby Rickett came back on his goal attack. So they're creating these different combinations and going to the defensive end, Ebony. And we saw Saunders go to wing attack and wing defence, excuse me, and that's the second time she's ever played wing defence as a Silver Fern. The last time was on Sunday. So Nolene is getting these players to be able to play 2 positions going forward.
She is, and you can tell the confidence that she has in her squad. Like, what she's building is a versatile squad, and to have Shannon Storms fit into the wing defence so seamlessly, I think Phoenix Karaka did a fantastic job in the back today, and so did Jane Watson. She came out with intercept after intercept after intercept, and when you've got a defensive combination that is turning over the ball for fun, they're confident, they're working and reading off each other, she's able to make those sorts of changes, and again, it paid off today.
Yeah, and they were brilliant. They won ball in the circle, they won it outside as well. Just that solid unit, and it doesn't just happen in the defensive third. Look at that from Saunders and Berger coming through to take balls so high up the court. It's a sign of a team that understands their role when they're out there, and everybody is doing their job. And you know what, when you're that far ahead, you know, you saw it on Sunday. Jamaica went up ahead against South Africa, let them creep in the last quarter. They knew they won the game. They didn't let anybody creep in tonight.
No,
they just kept putting their foot down. I used to say, the time you kill him, you get there and you just keep stamping down your authority.
She's brutal, isn't she?
But
she wants more every time.
why they're world champs.
Yeah. So well, it looks like New Zealand are going to go through to the final. I mean, their next game is against South Africa. Well, Ebony,
go on then, Ebony. Yeah, really.
Where's the smart money going? Where is it going?
No, they're into the final.
They're into the final. Jamaica, they're up against England next. I mean, it was all a bit haphazard at the end, wasn't it, Ebony?
It was, and I was really willing Jamaica over the line right at the beginning. I think I said I thought.
When has an England player ever said that?
I know. The only time I will say
New
that.
Zealand to win.
But I think after they went behind after a couple of goals, their heads kind of went down, and we did see the Jamaica evolve, starting to creep into each and every single quarter, and they just had no answers. The movement got static, they were lobbing the balls into Fowlery, and they weren't on target. So I think they'll have a lot of homework to do from today's game, but they can feel disappointed, but they're going to have to pick themselves up for Saturday's rematch.
Yeah, you said when we were sat at the side, I don't think they've done their homework against New Zealand. Did they not do their homework?
Until they sort out their attack end, there's going to be problems. When I saw their squad list come in, I was happy that they brought a Bulk their World Cup squad because there was so much unrest back home. I was nervy about the lack of options at wing attack and goal attack, and they've still got that Williams-Beckford as their starting lineup. Absolutely fine if they do some work with them. So Francis has to go home now and get them operating off a centre pass, opening that up attack end. They can't be as naive as they were tonight. They've got everything now. They've got all the evidence. There's no excuses. They need to go home and they need to work on that.
Okay, we don't want them to do too much homework though, because they're up against the England Roses on Saturday. And England, speaking of them, have arrived. They're in the building and they're playing in this next game against South Africa under the new head coach, Jess Thirlby. All smiles. Of course, these two teams played against each other in the Test Series in November. England victorious 2-1, but South Africa did win that third game. What will Jess do today? Breaking news, a couple of new starters for the side. Fran Williams starts, Ebony. What do you make of that?
I think that's a really good decision by Jess. I think we saw in the South Africa series, Fran Williams is an up-and-coming young player and she's playing with such confidence. And I think when she's paired with Stacey, they were turning over ball, and in order to disrupt this South African side, and if they're going to get that lead straight right from the start, they need a combination that is solid, that is comfortable with each other, and Fran Williams will definitely do that job.
Yep, and George Fisher gets the nod as goal shooter.
Yes, needs to get the nod as goal shooter as well. Came on, did a brilliant job against the Kiwis. Her time to shine this evening.
Partnering Ellie Cardwell in that goal attack. We can't wait. So, confirmation of the next game in 30 minutes' time. It's 8 o'clock for the centre pass, and the result from a game we've just had, 71-45 to New Zealand. So grab a cup of tea and we'll see you in 30. See you then. Goodbye.
Sky Sports. Feel it all. This programme is brought to you by Vitality Health and Life Insurance and Investments.
Handball, penalty. She's doing it again. Am I the only one that knows the rules?